Good day everyone. Today we will discuss session 7, activity and Gantt chart. My partner Patricio will present about the work breakdown structure while I will present about the Gantt chart. So I hope you can learn something from this video.
Topic is all about activity and Gantt chart. This module is in-depth look at work breakdown structure and Gantt chart. Reason, the student should be able to connect the word breakdown structure and the activity list, create a Gantt chart. These are the key learning participants are to take away from the session. So in slide 2, in work breakdown structure, from scope statements, constraints, assumption, the big deliverable for the project can be fully defined. Decompose the deliverables into sub-deliverables by phase. Number 1 is design, 2 is construction, number 3 is implementation. So design. What deliverables are required in terms of design to prepare for the construction? Functional design document, detailed design documents, RFP, interior design, electric plans, and lighting design. Work breakdown structure organizes and defines the total scope of the project. The project is broken down to hierarchical orders level 1 to 3. The WBS subdivides the project work into smaller, more manageable pieces of work, which is descending level of the WBS representing an increasingly detailed definition of the project work. Level 3 represents the most detailed deliverable description. When creating a WBS, decompose a deliverable into sub-deliverables by project phase. You may include all the project's phases or focus on certain areas depending on the scale and complexity of the project. Approval and scope. It ensures that the WBS accurately reflects the project requirement that need to accomplish. The design. It refers to the process of creating detailed plans and specifications for a project. Construction. Construction in WBS doing the physical or practical work to create the projects. Testing. It performs trial or checks to ensure that everything is functioning properly before the project is finished. Implementation. It carry out the final step to the mail the project work in the real world. Additional information, decomposition in the subdivision of project deliverables into smaller, more manageable components until the work and deliverables are defined to the work package level. The work package level is 3, the lowest level in the WPED, and it's the point of which the cost and schedule for the work can be reliably estimated. Again, the level of detail for work packages will vary with the size and complexity of the project. 3, the design. So, in the context of construction in the design phase is a critical component of the WBS. This phase involves creating detailed plans and specification for the project, ensuring that all requirements are met before construction begins. So, what sub-delivers are required in terms of design to prepare for the construction? Functional design document, detailed design document, request for proposal. Interior design, electrical plans, and lighting design. These are example of design. For construction, when we talk about construction, an important aspect of construction is delivery, meaning the completion of the project and handing it over the client for a successful delivery. Effective communication, proper planning, and attention to quality control are essential to meet the project goals and expectation. What sub-deliverables to be made to contribute all over to the overall delivery. So this is the one that I explained, and example of to build a construction is a building project, external fencing, street cover, foundation hall, external gazing, school concert project, tickets, poster, website, band contract, seats, sponsor, school approvals, and etc. These are the example of construction. So we go in slide 5. So implementation. So when we said implementation, managing transition, communication, and executing a rollout involves planning, clear communication, and structured execution to ensure smooth changes in a project, product, or organizational processes. So, what sub-deliverables to be made to manage transition, communication, and execute rollout? Restaurant, soft launch, event, menu finalization, and food tasting, hiring of chefs, hiring and training of crew, press release, website creation, and blog solicitation. So, in this example that we will share, we will focus on some of the project process and break down the deliverables per level. So, here are the example. So it's like 6 activity planning. Each sub-deliverable is a deliverable for that phase. Some deliverables are prerequisites of other deliverables. List the activities required to achieve the deliverable. Sequence the activities. Electrical plan can only be made when the requirements for lighting and other equipment are documented. Prerequisite activities. Some activities are required before other can be performed. Candidate interviews, selection, offer onboarding are required before staff training can start. Defining the activities involves identifying the deliverables at the lowest level in the WBS level 3, which is called the work package. Decompose work package into smaller components called activities to provide a basis for estimating, scheduling, executing, monitoring, and controlling the project. Documenting the work that is planned to be performed. So this is an example list for an IT software project. There is a level 1, level 2, level 3, and the activity definition. So planning, design, execution, testing, and implementation, and project name, develop project plan, submission project plan approval, project kick-off meeting, verify on valid user requirements, pronounce hardware software, install development system, testing phase, install live system, user training, and go live. So this has an example list for an IT software project.
Now that you have learned about work breakdown structure and activity reported by my partner, let's learn about a tool called Gantt chart. Gantt chart is a visual tool that shows the timeline of a project. It's a bar chart that helps plan, organize, and track tasks. This tool is used for presenting deliverables. Deliverables refers to the specific outputs, products, or results that a project intends to produce and deliver. Activities will have deliverables. This means that every activity in a project produces an output called a deliverables. The delivery dates in Gantt chart represented as milestones. Milestones refers to the important point in the progress or development of a project. Examples of deliverables are detailed design document, project plan, test criteria, summary of test results, and communication template. Gantt chart is also used to present activities. Activities are the smaller components of work packages in a project. This is needed to provide a basis for estimating, scheduling, executing, monitoring the project work. This is the level 3 in work breakdown structure. For each large deliverable, one can have preparatory activities, design task, execution, review or testing, and implementation. Examples of activities are prepare project plan, validate project plan, get approval, create process maps, get approval for process maps. After identifying deliverables and subsequent activities, you can use the Gantt chart to establish timelines for each. Scheduling present the start or the beginning and end date of various activities. We have examples here like start as soon as possible and as soon as possible. It means the task begins immediately and finishes as early as possible. Another is start and end on fixed dates, like start in July 17 and end in July 28. Another is start after defined date, like start after July 17. It also presents the resources used for each activity, either full or part-time for a task. Example, activity duration 2 weeks with resource use 50%. This can mean that the resource is only available half-time. So let's take a look at this example. In this example, there are 5 activities with varying timelines and different start and end dates. Notice that activity 1, 2, and 3 start at the same time. You can see that the starting point of the 3 are on the same level, means they start at the same time. The prerequisite for activity 4 is activity 2, as activity 2 needs to end before activity 4 can begin. Prerequisite means that an activity should end first before the other activity can begin. The prerequisites for activity 5 are activities 1, 3, and 4. Note how all 3 activities needs to end before activity 5 can begin. In this example, you can say that activity 3 and activity 5 are shaded in yellow. This means that they form the critical path in project management. Critical path is the sequence of project activities which add up to the longest overall duration. This means that it is the longest sequence of tasks that must be completed on time. This determines the shortest time possible to complete the project. Any delay of an activity on the critical path directly impacts the planned project completion dates. So activities 3 and 5 are considered critical activities and you cannot afford to compromise their timelines. Notice how these two activities, when added together, will give you the longest possible time to complete. Any delays on these two activities will immediately impact the project timelines. So we have two different activity. The first one is the lead activity. To identify the lead, look for tasks that can start as soon as the first part of the prerequisite activity has started. In this example, activity 2 can start before activity 1 is completed. Therefore, it is a lead activity. Activities 1 and 2 are called near concurrent or almost simultaneous activities. The second activity called lag activities. To identify this, we need to look for tasks that can only start after the completion of the prerequisite activity. In this example, activity 2 can only start after activity 1 is completed. Therefore, it is a lag activity. Scheduling is important to check the reasonability of an individual activity. This means that you can visualize reasonability of time estimate for each activity and for groups of activities for an intermediate deliverable. For example, allocating only 1 day for approval of multiple stakeholders is not reasonable because perhaps each stakeholders may have different schedules and may not be available immediately, and they need enough time to carefully read and analyze and provide meaningful feedback, and rushing the process can lead to mistakes or overlook some important details. More importantly, you can check the overall duration of the project. For example, the project to develop a mid-size application taking 12 months is too long, so you can use the Gantt chart to review the critical path. In short, Gantt chart provides an overall look at the time allotment per activity, deliverable, and project. You are able to see the reasonability of the time allocated per activity, deliverable, and overall project. So let's take a look at this example. So this is an example of a Gantt chart created using a paid software called MS Project. In the left side, you can see the activity description of the project. You can list here the project task. You can also list the timeline of each activity, so this is the start and end date of each task or the duration. And for each activity, you can list the resource, the person doing the work. On the right side, you can see that there are red and blue bars here. The red represent the critical path and the blue with black lines here is the non-critical activities called slack. Notice that weekend, Saturday and Sunday is not included from the schedule because they are not included in working day. So some bar are longer. So here in the right side, you can present the graphical view of the activity period. So this is the bars. You can present the resource name, the lines to show the critical path. So this is the red line and the milestone. Remember, the milestone is the delivery dates. So in this slide, it shows the project timelines based on their sizes. In short projects, which is 3 to 4 weeks, the activities here are scheduled in days. In mid-size project, around 3 months, activities are scheduled in weeks. And for larger projects, which is 6 to 12 months, for high-level activities, they are scheduled in months. And the next level activities are scheduled in weeks. The larger the project, the broader the time scale for planning. So that's all for the Gantt chart. Thank you for listening.